Choosing what business school to go to for your undergrad is a understandably tough decision. I went through the process myself, and one thing that did make it easier was reviewing the employment reports that these universities often put out to show what their alumni have accomplished and what industries, what salaries, and what type of jobs you can expect graduating from these schools. A little while ago, I made a video comparing these employment reports for both undergrad and MBAs. I thought I'd come back and make a refreshed version for 2023, which is up to date as per the information that I have available at the moment. We'll be comparing some of the top business schools in Canada, starting with Western University's Ivey School of Business, York University's Schulich School of Business, University of Toronto's Rotman School of Management, and Queen's University's Smith School of Business. Now, I do understand that there are a lot more universities in Canada and a lot more business schools, but I decided to focus on these ones as these were the focus of my initial video from a little while ago, as well as these were the universities I was considering when applying. Before we get into the details, I just wanted to make a quick note about the Rotman School of Management from the University of Toronto. I won't be including it in the detailed salary comparisons because the employment report didn't really have specifics on that information. Now, this isn't something that I would hold against the university or the business school because there isn't really a standard on what you are supposed to report. It's just something to keep in mind while I'm going through the comparison. Now, the first thing we'll be looking at is the employment rate, and this is essentially the percentage of students that get jobs after graduating who are looking for jobs. So at the top is the Schulich School of Business. Over here, you can see that 93% of students were hired within 3 months of graduation. This is based on the class of 2021. Secondly, at the Smith School of Business, 96% of students were hired within 6 months of graduation. At Ivey, 98% of students were hired within 6 months of graduation as well. And lastly, for Rotman, it was 95% of students were hired within 9 months of graduation. Now, the thing to note over here is that all of this information is based on the class of 2021. So from my research, I actually found that these business schools post their employment reports a little bit later. So the latest available at this moment when I'm filming this video, which is April 2023, the latest employment report is from August 2022, which covers the class of 2021. So what does this information mean? Honestly, I wouldn't get too caught up in the numbers here. What I can see over here is that all of these schools have a great chance of getting a job within graduation. There's also a little bit of number play going around over here because as you can see, Schulich reports in a 3-month basis, Smith reports in a 6-month basis, and then Rotman in a 9-month basis. So there's a little bit of like a discrepancy between the time period that they're reporting, but I think it's safe to say that there is no real difference within these metrics. Now we're going to be diving a little bit deeper into the average salaries from these schools, which is honestly the exciting part. So starting with the Schulich School of Business, the average salary over here was $60,000. 852, and this includes signing bonuses, base salaries, and other type of guaranteed compensation. They did report the average signing bonus as well, which is close to $6,000. The range is around 37 to 155 with a 117 spread. This is quite a big spread, and you'll see that across a lot of the different schools that I'll be going through. The median salary was $58,000. The highest paid industry, which was interesting, is healthcare and sustainability with a highest average salary of $74,000. And the highest individual salary was in financial services, which was $155,000. So the most popular industry for students to go into, and I can confirm through personal experience, is accounting with about 28% of students. The average salary is right around $52,000 with it ranging from $45,000 to $70,000. The second most popular industry would be finance with 21%, and the average here is around $71,000, ranging from $37,000 to $155,000. And lastly is tech or telecom. This is the industry I'm in, and the average salary here is around $71,000, ranging from $49,000 to $140,000. Now let's jump over to Ivey. So in Ivey, the average salary is close to $75,000, once again including all the different bonus and other compensation you get. The average signing bonus is a little bit higher with around $8,500. The range is interesting because I found this to have a really big spread, ranging from $20,000 to $255,000, which is like a $230,000 spread. The median salary is $65,000, and the highest paid industry is legal with $83,000, and the highest individual salary is financial services, which is $256,000. Now let's jump over to the top 3 industries at Ivey, with the top being finance at 32%. Once again, this is what I've heard as well, where a lot of students want to go to finance do tend to go into Ivey. The average salary here was around $81,000, the minimum $40,000, and the max $255,000. The second most popular industry is consulting with a 24%. placement rate. The average salary here is $72,000 with a range from 20 to 117. And lastly, the third most popular industry is technology with 9%. The average salary over here would be around $63,000, ranging from 33 to 150. Now, before we jump into Queen's University's Smith School of Business, I'd like to encourage you all to take a second and drop a like down below, as well as subscribe to the channel. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please note them down in the comment section. I will make sure to read every single one of them and reply to the best of my ability. Now, jumping right back in, at Smith School of Business, the average salary was around $65,000. There is an assumption I made over here, which is that this does not include signing bonuses and other guaranteed compensation. The highest paid industry was provided, which is finance, with approximately $75,500. The highest individual salary was $127,000, but no industry was specified. Now, just based on my hunch, this is purely my guess. It could probably be finance or consulting. These industries do tend to have the higher salaries. Now, jumping into the top 3 industries, once again, they only provided averages in this instance. So the top is finance with 33% with an average salary of $75,500, consulting at 17% with an average salary of $72,000, accounting at 14% with an average of $48,000. So now that we've gone through an in-depth look at the salaries from Queen's, Ivey, and Schulich, let's compare them side by side. So the highest average salary is from the Ivey School of Business at number 1, which is around $75,000. This includes bonus, base salary, and other compensation. Number 2 is the Smith School of Business, which is approximately $65,000. And once again, this does not include signing bonuses and other guaranteed compensation. And lastly, in third place would be the Schulich School of Business with approximately $61,000, which includes signing bonuses, base salary, and other guaranteed compensation. Now that we've got the average salaries out of the way, let's dive a little bit deeper into the specific industries at these universities. Starting with the Schulich School of Business, on the left, you can see a chart describing the employment by industry. And as you can see over here, accounting is the highest industry with around 28%, followed by other industries such as telecom, financial services. Now, the employment by function would be similar in nature, as accounting is around 24%, followed by fields such as finance and operations. Taking a look at Ivey, you can see that the most popular industry is financial services at 30%, followed by consulting, and then followed by consumer packaged goods. Looking at the graph on the right, which is the function of employment, consulting is the highest at 16%, followed by finance at 12% and accounting by 8%. Queen's University has a similar story, with their highest being financial services at 34%, consulting right behind at 17% and accounting at 14%. And once again, on the flip side, the employment by function reflects this as well, with finance, consulting, and accounting being the top 3. And last but not least, I was actually able to find information on Rotman's industries and functions. So taking a look at that, you can see that financial services is at 31%, accounting at 23%, and technology at 24% for industries. And when it comes to the function, it's accounting, finance, and strategy. You can see that there's a similar picture painted here, where all of these different business schools have a similar function of employment, which ranges from financial services, consulting, and technology, as well as accounting. So I actually went ahead and compared the average salary from these different functions across the different business schools, so I can give you an idea of what school has the highest average salary for what type of function. So starting with finance, the highest is Ivey with approximately $81,500, followed by the Smith School of Business with $75,000, and then lastly, Schulich School of Business with around $71,000. When it comes to accounting, the Schulich School of Business is in the lead with approximately $52,000, the Ivey School of Business at $48,000, and Smith at $48,000. When it comes to consulting, Ivey is in the lead with $72,000, Smith is similar at $72,000, and Schulich has an average salary of around $68,500. And lastly, when it comes to tech, Schulich has the highest salary within this industry at $72,000 approximately, Ivey at around $64,000, and Smith at around $58,500. Hopefully this provides a better picture of what the average salaries are depending on the industry that you're interested in. Now let's just go over a couple of key points of consideration. The first is that not all schools report response rate and data collection methods. So what I mean over here is that there's no transparency or standardization in terms of what information is reported. So we don't know how many people were reached out to, how many people responded. We don't know the sample pool. And there's really no real accurate way to have a standardized report. So I would take that for what it is. Especially when it comes to, for example, the Rotman School of Management, where their employment report is a little more aggregate and doesn't give as more specific details. I wouldn't hold this against the school, but that's just how they do it. So just keep that in mind. The second is that data is oversimplified. Averages may be heavily skewed due to different outliers within the different schools. An example of this would be Ivey, where we saw an extremely high salary of around $240,000 and a salary on the lower end at around $20,000. This would by nature skew the average a little bit, so it's important to take that into account when looking at these. And then I made this point earlier, but I'm just going to reiterate it as well. Although Rotman doesn't report undergraduate salary statistics, it's safe to assume that it is comparable. What we've seen is that all three of these business schools that we did have information for are comparable. Based on that assumption, Rotman should have comparable salaries and industries as well. And lastly, average salary is one of many other metrics, like I mentioned. So be sure to look at a lot of other different things when making your decisions, such as the university campus, the student life, the location, cost. There's a bunch of different things you can look at. So that brings me to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, got some value out of it, just a reminder to like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps my channel a lot. If you want to see other schools included, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, please leave them in the comments below. I will make sure to read every single one of them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.